when the speakers are doing. And if you want to do anything, please make sure you turn off your video so that once the session is on, no one should get distracted and our time is utilized fully. Now, to move the session on, I would like to introduce a person who is a very, very dynamic leader, a speaker, and a trainer. Over 16 years of experience in education. Now in Dubai, she is Toastmaster Shavonda. She serves as a senior academic trainer and consultant, partnering with teachers and schools to devote, practice, and unlock potentials. Guided by her powerful mantra, be, do, have. She inspires audience of all ages. With this, I would like to welcome with your thunderous applause. Keep doing the emojis and emotions but during the whole meeting so that our speakers will get encouragement. Keep doing that, keep the images on so that the speakers will get more and more encouragement. To introduce our MC, I would like all of you to put a lot of emojis here so that with your energy, I would like to welcome Toastmaster Shavonda. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Suzam. I definitely appreciate the introduction. Greetings, good evening to my District 127 family. Listen, I want for you to picture with me for a moment. I want you to think about a club that has a few empty chairs. Officers are doing their best. There are big dreams, but limited momentum. Now I want you to picture something entirely different. I want you to picture guests that are have curiosity, members that are stepping into leadership roles, energy that is rising, growth happening intentionally. The difference between these two rooms is strategy, not luck. Tonight, we are going to be rediscovering a powerful way to attract new voices, to strengthen our foundations, and build clubs that don't just survive, but thrive. Speechcraft is more than just a program, it is actually a catalyst, a bridge that bridges together potential as well as progress. So, as we begin, I invite you to listen with vision, not just for what your club is, but for what it can become. I want for us to build that future together. And at this time, what I want to do is I want to introduce someone who is a true visionary, someone whose visions have brought us to this moment tonight. I want to welcome our very first visionary to the stage, and that is none other than our District Club Growth Director, DTM Somaya Shiti. DTM Somaya began her Toastmasters journey over 6 years ago, and since then she has led with purpose and delivered impact, from serving in multiple club and district roles to being recognized as the best area director in District 105 and Best Division Director in Smedley District 127 for the 2023-2024 year. Her focus has always been growth and excellence. She now serves as the Club Growth Director for District 127. Professionally, she has been a senior HR leader for 17 years plus years of experience, of global experience, shaping leaders and transforming organizations. She believes leadership is not reserved for a few, but it is built by those who choose to step up. And every step outside of your comfort zone is a step toward becoming that leader. So I want for everyone on here to welcome to our virtual stage, DTM Somaya Shiti. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, our lovely MC for today, Toastmaster Shavonda, and wonderful, wonderful evening to everyone. So first and foremost, let me also acknowledge the presence of few dignitaries in the meeting, starting with District 92 Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Bidyut, our past Club Growth Directors, Distinguished Toastmaster Shamima, Distinguished Toastmaster Harish Krishnan, all the area directors, all the club leaders, and all the members. Thank you so much for making it today. Today, as you all know, we all would have seen in the news and everything, there are some situation which has happened in the Middle East, but what I can say is take care, follow the safety guidelines, and do not overthink or do not worry about it much, right? We all are there for each other. And one beautiful thing as Toastmasters family is we are here to support each other. So here we are checking on each other and still attending this session, which we have planned for you to get an experience of what exactly is Speechcraft. Now, if you are someone who has joined Toastmasters after COVID, you would have probably never seen Speechcraft or heard about Speechcraft. And also in the previous pre-COVID era also, there were very few who used to do that. But again, it is such a wonderful, wonderful tool which has amazing benefits, right from membership building to raising club funds. And most importantly, if you are a senior member who have been in your pathways and who want to achieve now your DTM journey, this is also something which will help you. So with that intent, this is the session which has been arranged. We have wonderful panelists, wonderful trainer, and all my lovely role players, really my club growth team, starting from Toastmaster Jem, Toastmaster Shah, the way Toastmaster Joey started at the start of the networking event. They are the backbone of whatever event I plan and do. So this is why it's a success. Without further ado, I think I'll give it back to our MC, Shawanda, because I know everybody is super eager to understand what exactly is Speechcraft and how can we help our clubs and help ourselves. Back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to introduce the individual that is going to take us through our training session tonight, and that is none other than DTM Vidut Dutta. DTM Vidut started his Toastmaster journey in 2019, and since then, he has served in multiple club officer and district leadership roles, including club growth director and program quality director, and is currently serving as the district director of District 92. Professionally, he works as knowledge and competence management leader at Airbus and also serves as an inclusion and diversity champion. He loves learning through failures and conveying his life experiences through storytelling, and strongly believes that being a good leader starts with being a good human being. Please, I want for everyone that is under the sound of my voice to use their reaction button to send claps, to send hearts, to send thumbs up for our education session trainer, DTM Bedut Duta. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shavonda. Before I begin, just a quick check. If I am clearly audible and all of you can see me clearly, can I get a few thumbs up? Great, amazing. I can see a lot of thumbs up. Great to see some of you on video, right? I know in a virtual session, it becomes difficult at times to connect, but having more people on video really helps me to also connect with all of you better. Before we get started with Speechcraft and what is the program all about, I wanted to quickly check, what do we all already know about Speechcraft? Maybe quickly around the room, if we can have some of you quickly share, what do you know about Speechcraft? What is Speechcraft? If you have heard the term before, you have limited knowledge, feel free to share whatever you already know about Speechcraft. Okay, I can see Smruti has raised her hand.
So this is my basic understanding of what Speechcraft might be. So how we have Gavel's Club and YLP, which is Youth Leadership Program, it's the same thing for adults, where Toastmasters and Speechcraft is a thing, I am assuming.
Thank you,
Because
Toastmaster Smruti.
I've been a recipient end of YLP, so I'm assuming it's quite similar to how Gavel's Club is a permanent or a long-term thing for people among 12 to 18 years old. It's the same thing for adults. Toastmasters is the permanent long-term thing, and Speechcraft is the, let's say, miniature version of Toastmasters.
Very well summarized. Very well summarized. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Smruti, for also making my job a little easier by setting the context. With this, let me start sharing the presentation which I have for all of you today. And what I want to do is we will make it very interactive. In between the session, we will have some time where if you have any specific doubts about what is being presented, feel free to raise your hand and we can always take a few questions. And of course, after the session, I'll be here for some time. If you have any questions, we can always have interactions. So let me start sharing my screen. I will request someone to quickly confirm once you can see the presentation, which I'm about to share. I'll go to the slideshow mode. If I can get a few, I can see a thumbs up from Soumya, from Shavonda. Great. Thank you so much. Let's get started. Today, we are here to talk about the Toastmasters Speechcraft experience. This is what we have in the agenda today. We are going to look at what is Speechcraft. Toastmaster Smruti already mentioned a little bit about what is Speechcraft. We will look at it in a much more in depth. Why should you conduct a Speechcraft? Very important. Why are we all here? What are the benefits of conducting a Speechcraft? What are the different projects which are already there in Speechcraft? How do we go about purchasing the Speechcraft digital bundle? What are the next steps after we purchase Speechcraft? How to go about it? How does it look like for the Speechcrafters, the individuals who are signing up for Speechcraft? How does the certification and the available resources look like? How do you get credits in the Toastmasters education program for the Speechcrafters who are participating? And towards the end, we will also try to have a quick glimpse into some of the frequently asked questions when it comes to Speechcraft. So with this, let's get started. The first question, what is Speechcraft? So this is something which Toastmaster Smruti already summarized, but then let's quickly have a look into what is the formal definition of Speechcraft and what does it mean when we talk about Speechcraft. Now, as the term Speechcraft itself conveys, Speechcraft is a tool which helps people to turn their speaking skills into a craft. And when we talk about converting our skills into craft, we are talking about how to enable individuals to advance in their professional and personal communication through a condensed version of the usual Toastmasters member experience, which all of us see. And this is where the real power of this platform comes into play. We know how much of time and efforts all of us take as members through the 6 months period when we go through our renewals term after term to gain the skills which are needed to be a successful communicator and a public speaker. But there are individuals who would probably like to have a quick crash course in what we learn in Toastmasters, a condensed version of the learning experience. There are people who might want to have a flavor of what Toastmasters offers before joining a program, or there are also experienced professionals who might not have sufficient time to commit to a formal Toastmasters program. For all such cases, Speechcraft is a powerful tool to convert potential members into members for future Toastmasters clubs. How does it work? It works in different durations. We can either conduct it in a span of 4, 6, or 8-week program. The typical duration is 1 to 2 hours each. This is once again a recommendation. Clubs and the Speechcraft coordinators who conduct Speechcraft can, of course, tailor the duration of each of the sessions as per their need. The participants who are called Speechcrafters have an opportunity to boost their confidence, their public speaking skills, leadership skills within the safe space of a Toastmasters club itself. And after completing the course, the members might eventually decide to join a Toastmasters club or probably visit a few clubs to explore if they would like to take up a formal Toastmasters membership. Now that we have looked at what is Speechcraft, let us look at why should you conduct a Speechcraft? Why are we all here? What are the benefits of conducting a Speechcraft program? First and foremost, it creates an outstanding opportunity for us to reach out to our community. I'm sure all of us who are a part of a Toastmasters club, we have a wider community and we always want to reach out to this wider community. I know all of us have heard about open houses, which we do, but Speechcraft is another way in which we can invite the members of our community to be a part of a course or a program through which they get a flavor of what actually happens in Toastmasters. a lot of our clubs have experienced members who would like to give back to the community. So this is also a very good forum through which we leverage the experienced Toastmasters in our club and in the community to give back to the society. And of course, as I already mentioned, through this program, there is always the possibility that the speech crafters eventually decide to take up a membership in the Toastmasters Club. So it can be a very good membership building initiative as well. And last but not the least, many of the community clubs also benefit out of this program by getting an opportunity to fundraise towards supporting many of the club expenditures, which eventually happens throughout the year. How does the program look like? So when we talk about the Speechcrafts program, there are a set of projects which are already recommended by Toastmasters International as a part of the formal program. But this is not the end of the program. There is always a possibility where you can interact with the participants, understand their needs, and add more modules to what is already recommended by Toastmasters International. To start with, let's look at what is already provided as a structure from Toastmasters International when we talk about the Speechcraft program. And as I mentioned, the duration is within a range of 4, 6 to 8 weeks. The different topics and the projects which are recommended by Toastmasters for Speechcraft starts with first, a project on choosing a topic where we acquaint the participants with the skills of understanding how to choose a topic, how to tailor our content and speeches, what we are delivering as per the needs and expectations of an audience. I'm sure you would have heard about the concept of knowing your audience, and we have multiple projects in Pathways which talk about this skill set of how do we deliver a speech or a project as per the expectations of the audience. The first project focuses specifically on this. Next, we have a project specifically on preparing to present, where we equip the speech crafters with the skill sets of the presentation, public speaking, delivery, and conveying a message. We have a project on the art of receiving an evaluation. We all know that we deliver evaluation feedback, but even before that, it becomes very important that we equip the participants with the skill of how to receive feedback positively and implement them in our learning journey. The fourth project focuses on knowing the purpose. Very important. And this is also something which is there in the Pathways projects, where we try to identify and deliver a purposeful message with each of the speeches and projects which we deliver as a part of our regular meeting. Next, we have a project on body language, where we talk about how to understand the impact of movements, gestures, and facial expressions to make an impactful delivery of a speech. How to evaluate a speech, we talked about receiving a feedback. Then there is a project which focuses specifically on the art of delivering constructive feedback, which helps the individuals to progress in their journey. We have a project on vocal variety, how to use our voice and presence to support the successful delivery of a message to an audience. And last but not the least, use of powerful words to identify and deploy key messages to the audience to which we are delivering the speech. Now that we have looked at all the 8 projects which are recommended by Toastmasters International, let us now step into what are the next steps. Now that we know what is Speechcraft, what are the benefits of Speechcraft, and what are the different projects which are present in Speechcraft. If all of you as members and as club officers would like to go ahead with conducting a Speechcraft, what are the next steps? The first step is to go to the Toastmasters International website and purchase a Speechcraft digital bundle. Speechcraft is now only available as a digital bundle. There are no printed resources which are available from Toastmasters International which can be purchased. But then once you purchase the digital bundle, there are multiple materials which can be printed if you want for use in the physical meetings. The price of the Speechcraft bundle is $50. And this $50 through which we purchase a Speechcraft digital bundle can support conducting a Speechcraft session for a group of 5 individuals. There can be always cases where where we would like to conduct a Speechcraft for more than 5. In fact, we have clubs which even conduct Speechcraft for a strength of 15 to 20 members. Considering the number of members which you are enrolling in the Speechcraft program, you would have to buy multiple bundles to support their Speechcraft journey. What are the things which are included in a Speechcraft bundle, the bundle which you purchase? It contains a Speechcraft coordinator guide. So every Speechcraft is supported by a Speechcraft coordinator who is an experienced Toastmaster and willing to give back to the community and coordinate the entire program. So it starts with a coordinator guide. You will receive a login and Basecamp page for the individual who is the Speechcraft coordinator. It also includes the digital learning materials for 5 Speechcrafters. Each of the Speechcrafters who are enrolled in the Speechcraft program get their individual login credentials through which they can log in and access all the resources through which they can prepare for the speeches, receive feedback and evaluation, and also eventually get their certification. We also have the digital materials for the coordinator who is conducting the Speechcraft. There are multiple tools and resources available through which the Speechcraft coordinator can support the learning journey of the individual Speechcrafters. As I mentioned, there are also multiple printable resources. So though Toastmasters has now moved into a digital Speechcraft experience, but then there are a lot of printable materials which can be printed by the clubs and use while conducting the Speechcraft. And last but not the least, we have marketing materials which are also provided, which you can use to promote the Speechcraft program within your community to enroll more members into this wonderful program called Speechcraft. What next? After you have purchased the bundle, what next? As soon as you purchase the bundle, what you can see on the screen is a sample of the mail which you will be receiving from Toastmasters International, which confirms the purchase of the bundle. And once you purchase the bundle, you also receive something called a order confirmation number or a digital bundle order number. If you are unable to find the mail due to some reason, it can be also accessed through the order history tab in your Toastmasters login profile. If you have purchased more than one bundle in the order, it might happen that you have more than 5 Speechcrafters. Your order number for all the bundles will remain the same. And you can use the same order number to access the materials for the multiple bundles. Let's look at the next step. Once you have accessed the order confirmation number, there is a specific portal which has been designed by Toastmasters International for the Speechcraft experience. And the login, the URL of the portal is speechcraft.toastmasters.org. This is a separate portal which is specifically built for supporting the Speechcraft program. Once you enter the program, you will be prompted to enter the details of the order confirmation number which you have received. And then there is a page which will open up. I have just included a snapshot here so that all of you get a good reference. In the page which opens up once you access the portal, you'll be prompted to enter, select your club name, enter your order confirmation number, verify the contact information, which will be automatically populated from your membership profile, and add a name for the Speechcraft program. Every Speechcraft program which we conduct should have a unique name, and also the event date, time, and location. Now it might happen that you decide to purchase the bundle now, even though you don't have a visibility on when you are going to start the Speechcraft program, what is the time, what is the venue. In that case, you also have an option to indicate that you would need some more time to finalize the details. And once you have finalized the details, you can once again come back to update the details of the event. Finally, once you have entered all the details, you can click on submit. It is very important to note that every Speechcraft program is supported by a Speechcraft coordinator who is also representing the club which is hosting the Speechcraft program. It is very important to get the approval from the club before conducting a Speechcraft program, because all the certifications and materials will also include the name of the host club which is supporting the Speechcraft program. And for this, it's important that there is a business meeting through which approval is taken from all the club members to support the Speechcraft program as the host club. The next step is about accessing the Basecamp on the Speechcraft portal, similar to how we have Basecamp in our Pathways program. We also have a Basecamp for Speechcraft. Though both the portals are hosted on Basecamp, the login credentials and the portal is different, which means that if you log in through your Toastmasters usual login, you won't be able to access the Speechcraft portal. There is a separate link through which this needs to be accessed. Once you enter this portal, this is the page which you can see, which will come up after you have entered the details all of your event. And here you will also have the option of either editing the dates or the attendees, or adding the speech crafters who have enrolled for the program. Now, it is important to note that you might not have the details of all the speech crafters ready when you start the program. It might happen that you have 3 people who have shown interest, and still you would like to launch the Speechcraft program on the portal and add the other attendees later. That's perfectly possible. Once you start the program, you can add the number of attendees who have already been enrolled. And as and when new attendees sign up, you can always add their name, details in the event tab. After you have entered all the details of the attendees and you click on go, you launch the Speechcraft program. All the speech crafters who have enrolled receive an automated mail from Toastmasters International informing them that they have been successfully enrolled in the Speechcraft program, and they also receive the login credentials to access the Speechcraft portal. This is how the Speechcraft portal looks like for the coordinators, and you will see there are multiple resources here on the screen. There are different learning resources through which you can upskill yourself to be prepared for the various sessions. You have the agenda and the curriculum for all the sessions which we are going to conduct as a part of Speechcraft. You have a section where you can validate the speeches of the speech crafters as and when they deliver their speeches. You have different session resources. You have a Speechcraft dashboard through which you can track the progress of all the speech crafters who have enrolled for the Speechcraft program. Now that we have talked about how does the portal and the process look like for the person who is the Speechcraft coordinator or who is launching the program, but how does it look like for the individual speech crafters? I've included a few snaps to give you an idea of how it looks like for the speech crafters, the individuals who are enrolling in the program. As you can see, the first screenshot shows the automated email which they receive from Toastmasters International once they have been added to the Speechcraft program. In this, there is a link through which the speech crafters have to log into the portal and also register themselves by entering some of their basic details like name, contact information, and other details. Once it is done, the speech crafters will be able to go to the Speechcraft portal, or which is known as the Speechcraft learning portal. You can see the second screenshot on the right, where there is an option for them to launch the learning platform on the Speechcraft portal. And finally, after they have entered the portal, there are a lot of resources and tool sets which are available for the individuals, starting with the curriculum for the learning sessions, different badges. It is also possible for members to access the digital badges which are awarded to them as and when they complete speeches, different learning resources, a dashboard which the speech crafters can keep a track of their own progress, and finally, multiple tutorials and resources which will help them to navigate through this platform. This is how the certificate looks like once the speech crafters have completed the program and the progress has been validated by the Speechcraft coordinator. The speech crafters receive an official certificate, and there is a similar certificate which is also issued to the Speechcraft coordinators who have completed the Speechcraft program. Along with this, there are multiple resources, as I have already mentioned. Once we log in, there is a marketing flyer template which is already available, which you can use to promote the program. There are dedicated agenda documents and project documents for each of the 8 projects which I mentioned. A very interesting aspect of Speechcraft is also the fact that the Speechcrafters can claim credits in the Pathways program if they decide to sign up as members later on after they complete the Speechcraft program. How many credits can they claim? The Speechcrafters can claim the credits in the Pathways Learning program for up to 7 speeches, which are presented during the program. The important thing here is after the speeches are delivered, the Speechcraft coordinator needs to validate the successful completion of the speeches and enter their feedback for the Speechcrafters to be able to claim the credits at a later point of time. How to go about it? Once the Speechcrafters have completed their enrollment as a member in Toastmasters, they can send an email to Club Quality team, which supports the Speechcraft program in the Toastmaster International World Headquarters team, to share the details and to claim the credits. What are the details which need to be shared? The name, the membership ID, the path which the member is currently pursuing, and the club name or the club number. Below are the details of the number of credits which can be achieved. As you can see, starting from the icebreaker speech up to the completion of 7 speeches in the Speechcrafter program, the individuals can claim their credits in their Pathways learning experience. Before we conclude, I had some of the frequently asked questions which I have compiled. I'm sure during the course of this session, you might have some of these questions which might have popped in. So the first question which we usually see from the clubs and the members who try to coordinate a Speechcraft program is who typically fills the role of a coordinator. Are there any restrictions who can serve in this role? The answer is there are no restrictions. Any experienced Toastmaster who has been a part of the program and who understands the basic of how the Toastmasters program runs and who is willing to give back to the community, as I already mentioned, can take up the role of a coordinator. The important thing here is an individual must be a Toastmaster to conduct a Speechcraft program, because the Toastmasters login credentials in the Speechcraft portal is automatically linked to our own membership ID. And then, as I mentioned, it needs to be approved by the club which is hosting the Speechcraft program. Regarding the printable versions, as I mentioned, there are no printable versions which can be purchased. However, there are a lot of materials which are available in the portal which can be downloaded and which can be printed if someone wants to have a look and feel of how the materials look like for each of the sessions. For each bundle, I think we have already covered this question. For each bundle, we can accommodate a maximum of 5 Speechcrafters, but a Speechcraft session or an event can be conducted by a club for more than 5 participants as well, in which case multiple bundles need to be purchased. When we're creating the event, all the participants need not be added. I think I have already covered this point. We can come back to the Speechcraft portal later on and add the remaining members who would have signed up later. A very interesting question which we usually see, and this is something which is possible. Is it possible that an individual is conducting a Speechcraft event and would also like to be a participant in the same event? It is possible. The only catch here is that 2 different email IDs need to be used for accessing the learner experience portal and the Speechcraft coordinator portal. After the conclusion of the Speechcraft program, you'll be able to receive certifications for both a Speechcrafter and a Speechcraft coordinator. Now, you might have already heard about it, or if not, this is a very interesting aspect of being a Speechcraft coordinator, is that this also counts toward the distinguished Toastmaster journey of an individual, where completing a Speechcraft gives you one of the credits or criteria which need to be fulfilled towards becoming a DTM. How to claim this? After you have completed the Speechcraft program, once you file your DTM application, in the application, you can just mention that I have completed Speechcraft. It will ask for details about when the Speechcraft was conducted. The World Headquarters team will validate the details, and then your Speechcraft coordinator credit will be counted towards your DTM journey. In case you're purchasing multiple digital bundles, under a single Speechcraft event, you can only get 1 credit towards the DTM program. But in case there are multiple coordinators who are coordinating the Speechcraft program, then each coordinator also receives a credit towards the DTM journey. Last but not the least, the question which we frequently get is, do I need to belong to the club that my Speechcraft event is associated with? The answer is yes. The event needs to be approved in advance by the club which is hosting the Speechcraft event, because it is not a very simple process to host a Speechcraft event. Other than the coordinator, you will also need a lot of support from multiple individuals who will come and deliver presentations for each of the sessions. So a support of a Toastmasters club is very important. And if you remember, we discussed about the 8 recommended sessions which are there from Toastmasters International. For each of these sessions, the agenda is divided in a manner where there is an educational session or a presentation delivered by an experienced Toastmaster, followed by a segment where the speech crafters are encouraged to come and deliver speeches, share their evaluations for their fellow speech crafters. So it clubs both the aspect of a formal presentation from an experienced Toastmaster, as well as a practical experience of giving them the stage which they need to hone their communication and public speaking skills. With this, I conclude the presentation which I had for today. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. I hope this session was useful for all of you. I wish all of you happy speech crafting experience and all the best in your journey towards empowering individuals to this wonderful platform called Speechcraft. Thank you so much. And with this, I hand over the stage back to our host and MC for today's session, Toastmaster Shavonda.
Hi, thank you so much. Please give another round of applause, a virtual applause to DTM Bidu for this amazing informational session regarding the spacecraft program. I hope everyone has taken notes. And now we're going to move into our panel discussion that is being led by our club growth director, DTM Somia. Welcome her with your virtual applause. Over to you.
Thank you so much, our MC Toastmaster Shavonda, and thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Bidyut, for that lovely, lovely training session. I know it was a very well explained, detailed, elaborated session, but I'm 100% sure we have a lot of questions buzzing in and people are curious to know more about it. So I will invite one by one the panelists. If the Zoom master can spotlight them, it would be great. And my request to each and every person attending this meeting, if you have questions, please directly write in the chat to me, because there might be a possibility that the questions are similar. So I will just combine it and give it out in one simple way, in the interest of the time. Yeah. Okay, so the first panelist is, of course, distinguished Toastmaster, District 92 Director, Vidyut Datta. I think my interaction with him has been so pleasant. He is a district director of District 92, where in this term, they have done 15 speech crafts. And you know the reason why. And he is one of the best in class, because when I was hunting for a trainer, his name came as one of the best, and you could see. So our first panelist is our trainer himself, distinguished Toastmaster Vidyut. Our second panelist is someone who I admire as a Toastmaster for his wit, for his knowledge, for his sense of humor. And I asked for a very brief intro, and he just gave me one-liner as an intro. But trust me, this man doesn't need an introduction. We all know the very seasoned Toastmaster, a very seasoned individual as well. The Toastmaster for over 2 decades, held various leadership positions, helped charter and mentor multiple clubs in Dubai. Currently, the member of Dubai Advanced Toastmaster Club, and he has not mentioned, I don't know why, the current district alignment chair Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Ganesh Raman. And the last panelist, last but not the least, someone from our own district, because this person I had him in my club grow team. And to my pleasant surprise, he's the one, he's a self-starter, self-initiator. He's the only one, I think, in our district for this year who has done a Speechcraft. So from a fresh perspective as well, please welcome the third panelist, who is an electrical engineer by profession, who has joined Toastmasters in 2021 and had several club positions, Vice President Education, Club President, and he has joined Toastmasters to set an example that engineers are not only good in numbers, formulas, and calculations, but also in the areas of public speaking and leadership. And I can vouch for that. Please welcome Toastmaster Aljano Tan. He is driving in Abu Dhabi and still one of the panelists. Okay, so now we have our panel set, let's get started with our question and answer, right? So the first question which I wanted to ask is YLP or Speechcraft, which one is easier and which one is better? I think I'll give this to our distinguished Toastmaster Ganesh Raman, if you can help us with the answer for this.
Sure. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here, and thank you for hosting me, Soumya. Which is easier? To be honest, neither is. Both come with their own challenges. If you were to ask a Toastmaster today, is it easier to deal with adults or is it easier to deal with youth? Both pose their own challenges. I'll tell you what is more exciting. The youth development program is far more exciting because you're with kids, and they will surprise you with their creativity, their energy, their intelligence. And there's never a dull moment when you're doing a youth development program. And then, the child in you naturally, spontaneously comes out. So by far, it is more enjoyable. Effectiveness-wise, obviously, the purpose behind both of these programs is very different. Right? A youth development program is exclusively developmental in nature, unless you are running a gavel club and you want members for your gavel club. Whereas, of course, Speechcraft, as I'm sure DTM Vidyut has mentioned, has a different purpose. Whether it's fundraising or increasing membership, or even chartering a new club. You could start the foundation with a Speechcraft. So yeah, both have their own challenges. The structure is more or less the same. You can adopt pretty much the same structure if you like. The commitment from members, club support, a sponsoring club, all of those requirements remain the same. It's just that the experience is far more enriching, at least personally for me, when we do a youth development program. So back to you, Soumya.
Thank you. Thank you so much, DTM Ganesh Raman. I think the answer is out there. Neither of them is easier, but if you want something more exciting, DTM Ganesh Raman's personal choice is YLP. Okay, and that was the question by Toastmaster Smriti. Next question by Toastmaster Vibha. She has two questions. So, and both the questions I'll divert to distinguished Toastmaster Vidyut. The first question is, can the coordinators be from two different clubs? This is question number one. Question number two, how does a club raise funds via this? How much can we charge?
Okay.
Yeah.
Great question. So in terms of the coordinators, yes, the coordinators can be from two different clubs. As I said, in such a case, the coordinators need to purchase separate bundles themselves. And once they enter the details of the Speechcrafters, they can divide the Speechcrafters between them, in which case both of them will get the individual credits. And it also helps in a manner that the Speechcraft program is receiving the support from two different Toastmasters clubs in terms of the presenters and the educational sessions and all the support that is required to conduct the program. To answer the second question about raising of funds, so while initiating the Speechcraft program and even while promoting the Speechcraft program, the club can decide how much will be the fees for the Speechcraft program. So it is a paid program. It is usually run as a paid program where all the Speechcrafters who enroll in the Speechcraft program are charged an amount for being a part of the program. And the usual recommendation from Toastmaster International is that this ideally shouldn't exceed the membership fees which we charge, which we pay from our own pocket for funding our own individual membership. So this is the usual guidance which Toastmaster International shares, that it shouldn't be more than what our membership fees is in the Toastmasters program. I hope that answers the questions.
I can add a little
Yes.
detail if you don't mind, just
Yeah.
to supplement
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
I think in one of their latest webinars, Toastmasters International is categorical about the maximum you can charge, and that is $95, which is equivalent to an international membership dues for 12 months.
Yes.
That's the maximum you can charge. Typically, they advise that you charge a break-even amount, however you're going to be investing and spending, you kind of recover that. Typically, that's what you would do.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning about the webinar. So there is also a webinar which is accessible, where from the Toastmasters International team, they have shared more specific details about the program and the nitty-gritties.
Awesome. Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Vidyut and distinguished Toastmaster Ganesh Raman. Now, just to summarize or just to reiterate specifically on the club raising the funds using Speechcraft is, number one, as a member, if you are initiating this, you need to take the club's approval, which is first take the XCOM on board. Second is initiate the quorum so that the club funds the purchasing of the Speechcraft bundle. And if you have in mind how much to charge, it should not exceed $95. However, it is recommended that you charge only the operating cost and little extra, and not really treat it as a profit generating exercise. You can have a little bit of money for your club as well, because of the work which has gone behind it, right? The next question is for Toastmaster Aljano, who has been our recent Speechcraft coordinator and probably the only one in District 1 to 7. So question is, I have a Speechcrafter who is being very difficult. What should I do?
Well, thank you for that question, ETM Somya. So for speech crafters, of course, not all of us, or let's say not all people share, let's say, the same interest at the beginning, and some are not really convinced. In my experience, we had like 8 speech crafters at the beginning, like the first 2 sessions. And to be honest, we ended up with about 5 of them finishing the program. So what you can do about that, for in my experience, is you should try to talk to them what seems to be like the problem, on what, let's say, makes them not to continue. Because not all of us, for example, are let's say, fully invested at the beginning, especially with the fact that they have to pay something, because to be honest, most of us wants to get things by free. But setting aside the amount, what I always try to tell my speech crafters is, take this as an opportunity to invest onto yourselves, and just give it a go, perhaps 2 to 3 sessions, and you will realize that on the 4th or the 5th session, you will suddenly see, or perhaps the people, the audience watching you, will see a significant improvement. And this is what happened during our sessions, our last Speechcraft, because what we do during sessions is we take videos of all the speech crafters delivering speeches, especially the icebreaker. And then in the succeeding sessions, we tend to show some highlights of the previous session that includes the speeches delivered by the speech crafters. So somehow they're seeing the progress of each of them, even if it's just on highlights. So in their minds, they're starting to believe that, oh, this is going somewhere. I get it now. Just imagine an 8-week session is like 2 months, right? And in that uh, short period of time, you will see the speech crafters will see the difference just when they joined and right at the very end. So what I always tell them is just give it a try first, okay? And it will be all worth it. And remember, don't think about the money. Just think of it as an investment. So this is in my point of view. Like, think of this as an investment to yourself. Just give it a try, and you will notice, and perhaps the people around you will notice there's a huge progress, a change in the individual itself, the speech crafter itself. So
Thank you.
that's all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Arjuna. And I think it's very well summarized that the primary goal of Speechcraft is building relationship. And also when someone is being challenging, it also provides you an opportunity to build your leadership skills. So thank you. Very well summarized. Another question from distinguished Toastmaster Mohammed Ashik is, if a club's primary goal is both fundraising and membership growth, which should be prioritized first? And how do we design Speechcraft to achieve both without conflict? I think I'll give this to distinguished Toastmaster Ganesh Raman. DTM Ganesh.
Thank you for that. Ashik, tough question, eh? Which one do you want to prioritize? In my personal opinion, both of them go hand in hand. Your fundraising is through the fee that they pay. There is no other fundraising. That's what the primary objective is, and it comes along with, potentially them joining as Toastmasters. You've got to be clear in your head why you're doing a Speechcraft. As a club, you have to know the purpose behind it. Many years ago, when we did our first, our primary purpose was to actually go out there and give back. Our intent was that we had gained so much from Toastmasters, and we were a thriving club at that point in time. We had almost about 70 members. That our objective was to give back. It was less of fundraising and even lesser in terms of getting more members, because we were already so strong. Subsequent Speechcrafts that we did, and we did some with corporates as well, was for creating clubs. So again, you could think of them as creating members, but basically we wanted to charter more clubs and we wanted to promote development. One of the clubs, in fact, we were very successful in both of these endeavors, because we got members. In fact, some of our leaders for the future came from these Speechcrafts. And at another corporate, we were able to do a developmental program for the first batch of 12. And then they liked it so much that they came back for a couple more. So you keep your intent clear, which is that you're doing something for the community and you're trying to give back and you're building skills for them. Membership will happen automatically. Fundraising will happen automatically as a consequence of having run the event. Right? So that's why my belief is you keep your purpose absolutely spotless. Yeah. Keep the intent to give back. You will receive double fold. No doubt about it. So, but you will achieve both. Typically, if you have a successful Speechcraft 8 weeks, you will make sure that at least a few members join out of that Speechcraft group, and you would have raised just about enough money to sponsor it. So that would be my approach. And we've been successful at both the clubs that I've been at. I was for a very long time with Emirates Toastmasters, and we ran multiple Speechcrafts and youth development programs through the club. And then with Dubai Advanced Toastmasters also, we have run youth development programs as well as Speechcrafts. So, and every time we went out there, we did it pretty much to give back to the community. And we gained. In return, we gained. on both those fronts. Sorry, long answer for a short question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Nitin,
you.
so much.
Thank you. I think Aljano also wants to add something. I see a raised hand over there.
Yes, I would like to double down on DTM Ganesh answer. At the beginning of Speechcraft, you need to be clear what are your motives are. And for in my experience in our club, when we brought up this idea, I told my fellow club members that we're not just doing this to get new members and yes, collect funds, but this is also a great opportunity for the other club members to serve as mentors. Because for me, the measure that you truly learn something is if you are able to share it with other people. So this Speechcraft serves as a way for the club members from our club, the Toastmasters, to mentor these people who are not yet Toastmasters, but somehow shown interest. So in that way, we're winning. Both of us are the Speechcrafters and the Toastmasters gain something from each other. Okay, so I definitely agree with DTM Ganesh, and just to recap, it's an opportunity to be a mentor, because we always said that in Toastmasters we are mentoring fellow Toastmasters. I like to bring it to a much wider perspective that no, you can also mentor these speech crafters also. That so that later they will eventually become Toastmasters. So that's all.
Yeah, I think very well said.
Lovely.
Very well
Lovely.
said.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Aljano. And I would also like to add a bit. I think when we were doing this campaign for awareness on Speechcraft, I also got a quote from distinguished Toastmaster Abraham Thomas, and he has also summarized it well. He says, Speechcraft doesn't just bring in new members, it takes Toastmaster to wider community walls, because we are often in our Toastmasters circle. So it is an opportunity to spread the awareness about Toastmasters. And in his experience, it has also led to several new clubs. And he himself has got 3 new corporate clubs just by running the Speechcraft. And more importantly, personally, he says that it has sharpened his own edge as a presenter along the way. So one program, I think multiple benefits. Okay, so the next question is by Toastmaster Mibin. He says, my question in terms of the session for the Speechcraft is, can we modify it little bit to a professional line, or do we need to stick to the TMI agenda and session topics? I think DTM Vidyut, if you can help us with this one.
Thank you, Soumya. So as I also mentioned during the session, there are these recommended sessions which are provided by Toastmasters, and I can share about the experience of one of the Speechcraft which we did for one of the corporates, where it was particularly tailored for people who have a lot of technical expertise. They are senior employees in the organization having a lot of technical expertise, but then they have their challenges in terms of their presentation skills, conveying their thoughts effectively. So the Speechcraft had to be coordinated in a manner that it is also tailored a bit as per their needs. So we collected the feedback. We did a session first with all the Speechcrafters to capture their needs. And then we did a mapping in terms of how does it align to the existing set of agenda, which is already provided by Toastmaster International. And we did add a few sessions, and that is something which we can always do. The ones which are there in the portal, of course, need to be somehow integrated, because it also leads to the credits, as I mentioned, right? For every speeches delivered there, it is validated through the portal, and eventually the speech crafters get credit if they eventually decide to join and become a member. But it can always be tailored, where you can have specific sessions. You can invite some experienced Toastmasters or presenters from the industry who talk about some topics which are more tailored to the needs of the group which is enrolled as a part of the program. So the answer is yes, it can be. You can always tailor or add a few sessions, similar to what happens in a YLP program as well. You always have the option of tailoring and adding a few topics as per the specific needs.
Thank you. Thank you so much, DTM Vidyut. I think I have one more question. I purchased Speechcraft, but won't be able to hold an event, or the program will not fit my needs. Can I get the refund? DTM Vidyut, can we
Okay.
get the refund?
So the answer is yes. If you haven't initiated the event, yes. Uh, if you haven't already entered the details in the online portal, and if you haven't started the event within a period of 12 months, there is still a possibility of emailing Toastmasters and requesting for an event. But of course, as I mentioned, that is if you haven't really started the event and added the speech crafters, any of them.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you
And
so much.
there is also just to guide everyone, there is a page called the FAQ page in the Toastmasters website, the Speechcraft FAQs page. If you go there, many of the questions which we have discussed in this session or even during the training session, these are already answered. So you could at any point of time go there to look at some of the frequently asked questions which are already answered.
Thank you. Thank you, DTM Vidyut. I think one question is there by Dr. Alia. DTM Ganesh Raman, this is definitely for you. Given a scenario, we want our current members to renew, which has been a challenge recently. Renewed members aren't attending, and bringing in new guests is something we are working on. My question is, how do we promote? What category of people and what X factor should the promotion pamphlet include?
So are we still talking Speechcraft, or are we talking how do we make sure that our club survives and thrives and has
No,
new
no.
members coming in, right? So
In
we'll
the
answer
scope
both
of Speechcraft,
parts.
yeah.
We'll answer both parts, of course. For membership, of course, there are multiple initiatives you can take, right? For a club membership. Now, whether you do an open house, whether you do a Speechcraft, you're likely to gain members if you do it well. An open house, you have an opportunity to invite more number of people, go out to a community area and pack the room with an open invite. Chances are you will get at least 10% joining. And open houses are successful if they're conducted well. So you market it well and you plan it and organize it well. It has a far greater chance of success in terms of garnering members or new membership rather than a Speechcraft, which takes 2 months minimum. And then your size of your group in the Speechcraft is also limited. You typically have 10, perhaps maybe 12, because beyond that, you can't manage that group. So in terms of speed and volume, open houses and similar, conducting demo sessions, let's say in schools and colleges and corporates or open community areas, then chances of getting more members. Speechcraft is specifically targeted, typically. It has seen a lot of success with corporates because corporates recognize the need for communication and leadership skills a little better than community members. And corporates generally will welcome you if you have some network and you've got people from the fraternity who work for these organizations. So getting chances to run Speechcrafts and multiple Speechcrafts is better with corporates. And that way you will still succeed. Now, why are our current members not renewing? I think we need to do a bit of reflection there. I know there are lots and lots of distractions nowadays. The world has changed over the last 10 years or so. So Toastmasters has had to reinvent itself, and clubs have to reinvent themselves as we go along. So there needs deep reflection on what ticks for the member, what their expectations are, and whether their expectations are continually being met or not. If they find different mechanisms to meet the same need, chances are you're competing with that. And Toastmasters need to be really, really attractive at your club. So there are clubs which are thriving. I strongly recommend, with the help of the district trio, to find out what's working and how you can garner that. I've been a Toastmaster more than 20 years, so something still ticks the box for me. So my club is 15 years old, Dubai Advanced Toastmasters at the moment. My other club, which is Emirates Toastmasters, where I'm a non-paying member, is still thriving and continues to grow. So there will be periods, of course, when there's a dip. And I promise you this, even if there are 8 to 10 dedicated members, during that dip, I promise you that cycle will see an upside in the future. And I've seen plenty of clubs in the UAE going through that cycle, not just once, but multiple times. So, Dr. Alia, keep the spirit up and go get them. Back to you, Soumya.
Thank you. I think Aljano also wants to add something real quick because the card is yellow now, timer card.
Yes, I'll try to be quick. So since Speechcraft, one of the aims of Speechcraft is to increase membership. In our experience, what we did, because to be honest, there's no guarantee that the speech crafters that finish the program will eventually join the club. All right, there's no guarantee, even if you will say that it's a success. So what we did is, since we run an 8-week session, the 6th and 7th session for the Speechcraft, we did coincide it with our club meeting. The reason why we did that is that we want to expose the speech crafters of what awaits them when they become officially a Toastmaster. Since, as mentioned by DTM Bijut, Speechcraft is a condensed Toastmasters experience version. So why not give them a glimpse of what awaits them if they continue the journey from Speechcraft to becoming a Toastmaster? So in that way, that's how we further convince the speech crafters that, oh, your journey doesn't end here after the 8 weeks. It's just getting started, and this what awaits for you. So that's just the thing that I would like to add on.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anjano. And thank you so much, our lovely panelists, Distinguished Toastmaster Bidyut, Distinguished Toastmaster Ganesh, and Toastmaster Aljano for being a lovely panelist here. Now, before I hand it back to our lovely MC, I just want to say one thing is, it's just the first session for this term on Speechcraft. If you are someone who is still curious about Speechcraft and you don't know how to go about it, please get in touch with us. Me and my team will try to set you up with someone who's experienced and who will guide you through the process. Yeah. If you still need that extra bit of confidence, I want to do it, but it would be nice if someone experienced is with me. Yeah. So we are there for you. Don't worry. Support is always there. You just have to ask. So with this, back to you, our lovely MC, Toastmaster Shavonda.
Awesome. Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Soumya, and all of our wonderful panelists. Your insights have helped us as we begin our journey to taking our clubs to the next level. Now, I want to welcome a gem who happens to be named Jim as well to our principal stage. Before I welcome her, I would like to tell you just a little bit about her. Toastmaster Jim supports employees throughout their entire journey, from onboarding and ensuring meaningful and positive experience at every stage. Beyond her professional role, she is a passionate Toastmaster who enjoys playing ping pong. We should play sometime, dancing, pursuing continuous learning. She strongly believes that growth never stops. So I want for everyone on the screen, I know that we can do it virtually, but I want you to take your left hand and I want you to take your right hand and put them together and welcome our very own Toastmaster Jim.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shavonda, for that wonderful introduction. And good evening, everyone. It's almost 9 p.m., but I can still feel the energy from everyone. So on behalf of the District 127 Club Growth Team, a big thank you to everyone who made this Toastmasters Speechcraft experience a very successful event. And thank you to our district leaders, DTM Sujil and DTM Shakil for I think they're not here, but they are always supporting us. And special thank you to our Club Growth Director, DTM Soumya Shetty, for leading this great initiative. Very inspiring. And I mean, this is a great initiative to have Speechcraft session in particular. And yes, and we would like to give our certificates of appreciation to our amazing leaders and role players for tonight. And this certificate is small token, but our gratitude is big for giving us your time in serving us and everyone in here. So Zoom Master, Toastmasters, Mibin, I will just share my screen. And if can you please spotlight as I call their names, please? Okay, the screen is visible?
Yes, Jim.
Okay. So first of all, give a big round of applause to our networking session. Very, very energetic, and I must say the word networking, he gave justice to it. Toastmaster Joey Rendon. Next is thank you to our Sergeant at Arms, very energetic, and he made this very smooth opening and very organized as well to go through the house rules and everything. Thank you, Toastmaster Shazam. And to our very charming MC for tonight, Toastmaster Shavonda. Thank you for gracing us and your positive energy as our MC. Big round of applause. DTM Bidyut Data, thank you so much for teaching us and very insightful presentation about Speechcraft. Even I myself learned a lot about this. DTM Ganesh Raman, thank you so much. And Toastmaster Aljanutan for sharing your real stories, practical ideas as well, and words of wisdom. My personal takeaway is about intention of how we do this Speechcraft.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Supita Kumarin Singhe, thank you so much for supporting us as our timer. Toastmaster Mibin, our Zoom master for tonight, thank you for making a stay connected and very smooth session. To our lovely Toastmaster Alina Jimmy Chan for a lovely flyer, who is behind the very beautiful flyer that we circulated. And most importantly, thank you to everyone for being here and spend time, learn together, listening and asking questions because of you, this came alive and very successful. So once again, thank you for giving your time to grow and to make this event successful. I think you deserve, please give yourselves a big round of applause. So before we close, remember this, Speechcraft is not just a class. It is where courage and confidence begin. So spread the news about the Speechcraft. If you would like to take part of it, please feel free to contact the district leaders. And yeah, keep speaking, keep growing, take the next step. Good night and stay safe, everyone. Now, Titem Somya, shall we?
We close it, but we forgot to take group pictures. So whoever is remaining in the call,
Sure.
can you please switch on your camera? We'll take a quick group picture. Whoever, as a memory. And who can help us with the picture? Jem, are you taking the picture?
Yeah, I can take it. Okay, smile. Sorry. Okay, I think I captured how on my view. But I think, just hold on, let me just gallery. Okay, now I have a good, okay, one more. It's 1, 2, 3. Then I'll take the next page. Sorry.
You have to tell us when to stop. I'm smiling.
Yes. One more. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Lovely evening to everyone. Stay
Thank you
safe
so
and
much.
let's be connected. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.